Let's get to it.
Joe Manassa answers your real estate frequently asked questions.
Good to go.
Today's question: what does arm's length mean in a real estate transaction, and why is it important? A transaction is said to be arm's length when both parties are independent and on equal footing. Both parties are attempting to get the best deal. Why is this important? It is used specifically in contract law to arrange an equitable agreement that will stand up to legal scrutiny. External parties require most real estate transactions to be arm's length. Why is arm's length required? Well, the IRS wants to ensure that two parties are not trying to avoid taxation, and banks want to ensure that short sale transactions are not a scheme to defraud the bank. Some examples of not arm's length transactions: parents selling property to their children at below market value prices. Banks, a fiancé buys a home from a future spouse in order to get their collective debt reduced. Banks, seller sells to a buyer who sells back to the seller in a short sale. Oftentimes homeowners who are forced to do a short sale want to know, is there any way to keep the property? And that's why this question comes up. In order to ensure that a transaction is arm's length, oftentimes an arm's length affidavit is signed at closing. It's a document signed by the seller and sometimes the buyer at closing. There's no standard form. Each bank has their own. Most are very clearly stated. Here's some example language. This sale is an arm's length transaction between buyer and seller, and said buyer, including its principals, directors, and officers, is not an agent, friend, relative, or employee of seller, but is, in fact, a stranger to the seller. Because we are seeing more distressed property sales in real estate, we're getting a lot of questions about how do you get around the arm's length affidavit. Well, my opinion is, if you sign an arm's length affidavit with the intent of defrauding a third party, I would strongly recommend you seek legal counsel. So what is my final answer? It is arm's length when the parties to a transaction are independent and on equal footing. And this means both parties are attempting to get the best deal.
Let's get to it.
Joe Manassa answers your real estate frequently asked questions.
Good to go.